Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Gov Shack. So happy to have you guys with me this evening. We're past 8 p.m. on the East Coast. I know it is a later day this time, later time, as always, and Gov Shack does go a tad later. But there was a couple things I wanted to bring up here. A couple things that I thought were kind of important here. And that is, excuse me, the idea of Bruce Blakeman running. Is Bruce Blakeman, who, by the way, those you don't know, Elise Stefanik dropped out, and Bruce Blakeman stepped up. And as soon as he stepped up, right away, he stepped up. And now, all of a sudden, Trump endorsed him, and he's the man. He is now the man. He's the number one guy. And I guess good for him. But is he really ready? Is he going to try to win? Is he someone that maybe we want to vote for? Is he going to be able to work without a primary? All those things. And I want to, if I could, talk about that, talk about him also, right? Talk about all those issues. But I do want to show you something else. And that is, if I can, I want to show you his intro. This is his intro, or not his intro, but him coming in. And this is a people talking about it. So you know what I am talking about. All right.
President Donald Trump is backing Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman for the Republican nomination for the governor. This comes a day after the shocking announcement that North Country Representative Elise Stefanik would be suspending her campaign for governor and additionally not seeking re-election to Congress. With these decisions, now comes questions. Question one, what led to her suspending her campaign and announcing her retirement? And question two, what does this mean for Republicans in the race for governor? Well, CBS 6's Quinn Alexander has the answers, along with the community's reaction.
Okay. Does she really have the answer? I'm not really sure, but that's okay.
To the shocking turn of events.
She would have been good for the...
Okay, he says shocking. I've said more than once, it's not shocking. I thought it was coming. I told you all this was true. And there we go.
Economic sphere of the state.
I don't approve of what she's done. I don't approve of her area with Trump. I don't approve of her.
A mix of feelings from Glens Falls residents on Representative Elise Stefanik's decision.
Yeah, I go to Glens Falls. They don't know who she is.
To suspend her bid for governor and not seek re-election for Congress. Many speculating what it could mean.
I think she's clearing the way to be run for vice president in 2028.
But what caused Stefanik to bow out? In a statement, she says she wants to focus on family and take care of her 4-year-old son.
Focus on family and take care of her 4-year-old son. This is the piece they always bring up. And I told you she would do that, right? But my issue is, you didn't know you had a 4-year-old son last month? You just figured it out? You didn't know you had a family last month? You just figured it out?
Son. Director of the Marist Institute for Public Opinion, Dr. Lee Meringhoff, believes there are other factors. The introduction of a Republican challenger and the loss of support from President Trump.
And probably a good sense that the rug pulled out from under her at this time with the entrance of Blakeman and what Trump was doing or not doing.
Stefanik leaving the race means Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman is now the top Republican candidate.
Correct.
Meringhoff says by not needing to worry about a Republican primary, it could strengthen Blakeman's campaign.
See, not needing to worry about a Republican primary. Why? Why? Shouldn't you want to have a primary if you're a Republican in New York State? Shouldn't you want to pick the person that you want? No. This is what actually happened in New York State. Donald Trump picked our governor. Now, what if you like Trump? Okay, I guess maybe you're happy because you like Trump. Okay, great. But whether you like Trump or not, is that what's supposed to happen? If you're a Republican in New York State, shouldn't you get some kind of vote on who your guy or gal is? Whether it's Stefanik or Blake or whomever, shouldn't you? No, Trump said, nah, it's that guy. And I went, okay, it's that guy. And these are the same people who opened their mouth when the Democrats did exactly the same thing. Democrats did it with Harris. They did it with Harris in 2024 last year and went, oh, nope, shut up, Democrats. You're getting Harris. Shut up. And now Republicans go, oh, that was terrible. By the way, Republicans, shut up. You're getting Blakeman. Now, look, if you Republicans like Blakeman and you want him, that's fine. Vote for him. He's all yours. But it's a problem, which people just aren't getting. Nobody wants to do this. I told you Stefanik didn't want to do this. Nobody wants to do this. This is the same thing in New York City. Nobody wanted to do this. Curtis Sliwa, also in his 70s. They're getting the older, dependable Republicans to show up and take the L for the team. Look, you're on your way out. Do your last hoorah. Take the L for the team. Sliwa did it, and they still screwed him over. And now Blakeman's going to do it. Take the L for the team. Nobody wants to do this. Why? You're going to bust your ass for a year, get hammered for a year, lose, and be a nobody again. Nobody wants to do this. I've been telling you this for years. New York State is 2, maybe 3 cycles away from no longer running statewide candidates. The Republican Party will no longer run statewide candidates. You can't. There'll be no one to run. Like, no one will do it. They keep saying, I hear that every day. I see it somehow on social media somewhere. Kathy Hochul's the most, unpopular governor. We're going to get rid of Kathy Hochul. This is the end. If that were true, why aren't there 25 Republicans chomping at the bit to do this? Why aren't they fighting against, Trump? Well, I don't care what Trump thinks. We could get her. This is our year. If that was real. It's just a blatant lie. Nobody wants to do this.
Campaign against Democratic incumbent Governor Kathy Hochul.
It's a very...
Now, think about what else just happened. Kathy Hochul's also in a primary, in theory, with Delgado. And there are tons of people who like Delgado going, Delgado's the one. Delgado's going to win this thing. Delgado's going to take it. No, he's not. Literally, they're just saying right now, they're saying it right now. Oh, now this on between him and Hochul. What happened to Delgado? Why? Because he can't do it either. They know Delgado has no chance. Delgado is setting himself for something later. Yes, setting himself for something later. But let me go one step further. Everybody in this race, whether actually in or used to be in or kind of in now, every one of them is being paid by the government to run when they're supposed to be serving you. Let's keep that in mind. Every one of them is paid by the government to run when they're supposed to be serving you. So, Kathy Hochul, current governor. Okay, got that. Delgado, he's lieutenant governor. He's getting a paycheck from the government too. Supposed to be lieutenant governor doing whatever that is, but he's not. He's running. Now, Stefanik, when she joined, she's a congressman, getting paid by the government to run. He's supposed to be serving you. And now Blakeman, getting paid by the government when he's supposed to be serving you. We have a system in New York State where only the aristocracy can run. No one else can. And here's the worst part. I get assholes every day mad at me. Larry, will you raise your money? Blah, blah, blah. I'm the only one not being paid by the government to run. I'm the only one. I'm the only non-aristocracy who's running. And you're mad at me? You like your king and queen? You like your dukes and your marquises and your princesses and your duchesses? You like that? Your ladies and your lords ruling you? I guess you do. Because that's the system. I'm sitting there trying to break it, and have you guys are mad at me. I don't know why. I just showed you that.
Strong positive for the Republicans. It opens the path for the Nassau County Executive and Blakeman.
Mieringhoff says Blakeman has a chance at winning if Democrats have a contentious primary between.
He is full of so much shit I want to throw up. Blakeman has a chance of winning. What a lie. So to be clear, if the Democrats have a tough primary, he just said it's on between Hochul and Blakeman. So how's it going to be a tough primary? Number one. And number two, you know who else had a tough primary? Barack Obama. And that guy won twice. He had a tough primary. It didn't seem to hurt him, and his primary was tough. He got better, whether you like Obama or not. Whatever your feeling of Trump is. Trump also, very tough primary. Trump's primary, real tough. He won. It's weird. Trump had a very tough primary and won. Biden, tough primary. They ate him up until the end when he just gave up. But before that, they beat him up. Harris, one of them, beat him up. He won. Trump had one. He won. You know, didn't have a tough primary? Harris. Oh, yeah, she lost. She didn't have a tough one at all. She lost. This guy's they said, let's bring on this guy who's utterly full of shit and doesn't know what he's talking about. Zero chance of victory. And a tough primary doesn't necessarily make things worse. It can make things better. And recent history will show you that. Again, Trump's first run, 2016, brutal primary. And he won. Obama's first, brutal, and won. Harris's, there wasn't one, and lost.
Governor Hochul and Lieutenant Governor Antonio Delgado. Even then, he says it would be an uphill battle.
The political landscape primarily is going to be defined on how Governor Hochul's doing. She's the incumbent. It's likely to be a good Democratic year in a very blue state.
In a Truth Social post, President Trump giving his complete and total endorsement of Blakeman, saying he's MAGA all the way and has been.
Now, why would Trump say he's MAGA all the way? Does Trump not care? Is that what he thinks? This is New York State. And again, for those of you who like Trump and you're more MAGA, I get it. That's probably a good thing for you. And for many Republicans, a good thing, right? If you're a Republican, most Republicans still, in New York State at least, still like Trump. Most Republicans still like Trump in New York State. That's probably a good move. There's no primary. If there's no primary, why you push in MAGA? The advantage that he's supposed to have, they tell me Blakeman has, is that he can cross over. Well, then why would you call him hardcore MAGA? That's a death sentence here.
With Trump from the very beginning. Governor Hochul immediately firing back, saying Blakeman will put Trump first, New Yorkers last, and leave families to foot the bill. Reporting in Glens Falls, Quinn Alexander, CBS 6 News.
So,
well, good evening, and thank you for joining.
That's how that went. I want you guys to see that. So now you see that. The question now becomes, all right, is this guy ready to go? Let me grab some comments before I go. And by the way, guys, if you want to super chat, remember, super chats, because this is the Larry Sharpe for governor, this is not Sharpe way, can't super chat via YouTube, because that's the rules. You have to go to LarrySharpe.com/super chat to super chat if you want to. I'll get it, and then we'll pop it up there if you want to. So, yes. Doc says, Blakeman totally going to take the governor's race. Why don't you just get up now, Larry? True. I'm lost. I'm going to show you how awesome he is right now. I should probably just quit. But Shelley says the opposite. She says he can't win, but the Republicans refuse to look at their own history running for governor in the last generation. Yep. Absolutely. Yes. All right. Lunatic in the house says, in the house, listening on my drive home. Don't make me drive angry, Larry. I got a feeling I'm gonna. Just saying. I'm probably gonna. Your mayor says, Larry Sharpe for governor of New York. Thank you. I appreciate that. Here we go. Nosy is here. Hello, all. I appreciate that. Doc says, college. Yeah. Larry Sharpe for governor, brother. Come on now. Andrea says, that blue is nice color on you, Larry. Thank you. I appreciate that. I have I happen to have more than one shirt, which is nice. Andrea says, I think Bruce Blakeman is a milquetoast candidate. True. You are absolutely correct. Yes, absolutely. All right. So I think I grabbed all of that. I was going to grab a couple of these if I can. All right. I think I grabbed that one. Okay. I think we're good. And Charlie says, but Blakeman went to all the regions in the state, including the ones he lives in. He listened to the echo chamber, not the people's state. True. Regions, not counties. And he's echo chambering. That is true. Yes, absolutely. The question, Nicholas says, who is Blakeman? Great question. Why don't we go find out? Why don't we go to, say, his website, which, again, he was talking about this months ago. He is a sitting chief executive of Nassau County. He's raised money, so he should have a great website ready to jump on board and make everything happen, right? Well, we'll see. Here is his awesome website right there. Now, again, he's running for New York State, just so you're clear. He's running in New York State, a state where 23% of the voters are Republican, a state where a Republican hasn't won in 23 years, nothing statewide. Locally, yes, statewide, nothing. So, and he starts it with Republican conservative Bruce Blakeman, because that's what New York wants to hear. Does he know what state he's in? And you might go, but Larry, I'm a conservative. Okay, good. I'm not mad at you for being a conservative. I'm not. But if you're going to run in New York State, which is deep blue, almost 3-1, working on 3-1, Democrat Republican. In New York City, 6-1, Democrat Republican. He leads. He's leading with Republican conservative. If you're an average Democrat in New York State, seeing the word conservative says, nope, checking right out. That's what he says. That's how he opens. Already we're hurting. Well, we got a couple things here, right? We got Meet Blakeman. Okay, I like that. We got Blakeman's record. Okay, so we know what he did. Okay. And news, get involved and donate. Okay, so we got a couple of them. All right, so let's meet Blake. Oh, it's not even a page. It's just going down. Oh, it's only one page. Damn. Okay. Well, again, he is in New York State, as you know, and he thought the right answer would be a picture with Trump. I wish I was joking. Again, he's not running for governor of Oklahoma, governor of Nebraska. He's not running for governor of, whatever, Texas, whatever. He's running, in theory, governor of New York. And he thought, up at top, I'm going to put the word conservative because you know how us New Yorkers, we love to hear the word conservative. And then a picture of Trump because us New Yorkers, again, 2-1 Democrats, Republican, working on 3-1 Democrats, Republican. What do we love more than anything else? Trump. This is a joke. And he's had time to figure this out. And again, you might go, but Larry, he's got to win a primary. No, he doesn't. There's no one in his primary. There's no primary. Trump's ensured that. So there's no primary, which means you should be looking to move to the center, theoretically, right? After the primary, move to the center. You're in New York. You want to get some of the lefties. You want to get some of the people who are mad at Democrats, whatever. And he thought, you know what I'm going to do? Picture Trump. That'll work. Okay. So he's a lifelong New Yorker, father, husband, and public servant, knows how to lead and win. Okay, I like that. We can win. That's a good thing. He knows how to win. He's lost most of his elections, though. I'm not making that up. Do his homework. He's lost most of them. I think he's run like 5 or 6 times, lost like 5 times. So, yeah. So, not very good. Okay. He fought sanctuary policies, rejected mask mandates, like that. Stopped boys from playing in girls' sports, made Nashville the safest county in America while hiring hundreds of police officers. Fought sanctuary policies again, rejected mask mandates again. Balanced it. So he did it twice, I guess. They just doubled up because they spent a lot of time looking at this because they cared, because they don't. Made Nashville the safest county in America. They copied it. Look at it. I'm not joking. It's just the same thing twice. This is the Republican nominee. They didn't bother editing. This is current website. I'm not making this up. You go for yourself. BlakemanForNewYork.com, meet Bruce. They didn't bother. No one bothered checking it. Now, you would think someone would look at it and then tell him, hey, Blakeman, your website's messed up. You doubled up on stuff. You know why? Because no one's looking at his website. Why bother? Why bother? If you support him, you don't care what he says on his website. You don't care. You don't know his website. You don't care. And no one else he's not reaching out. There's no one else coming to his website to read it. I'm not joking. You just saw it. I'm not making it up. It's there. Go. It's right there. Yes. That's what he said. So a 9/11 Port Authority commissioner and 2-term county executive, Bruce has led through crisis delivered results. He put the blueprint to beat Kathy Hochul. You have? Where's that blueprint? Is there a button that says blueprint? Blueprint? No. Is there a button that says policy? No. It's meet him. Okay, I met him. You doubled up because you didn't bother reading it. So, yeah. Okay. But then I'll tell you, Nassau County, one of the most expensive in the entire country. So if you want to have an expensive place to live, you could do that. You can make New York the most expensive. Already done. We got that one, Bruce. We're good. We're good. This is actually his website. I wish I was joking. There's nothing else to click. You said, well, click the button. Okay, I did the meet. That's him. It goes down. All right, well, so I don't want to meet him. Let's check his record. Okay, this is going to be good. Oh, we're not even, yeah. There's no other, it's just this. There we go. Okay, so Blakeman's Nassau success story. I should go success story. I like this one. He's delivered real results. Okay, I guess that's good. Cutting taxes, pushing back against Albany mandates. He pushes back. I guess that's good. Pushing back is good. Okay, now he's running for governor. So his results are cutting taxes, safer, and pushing back. Okay, that's fine. All right. Turn Nassau into the #1 safest. Everything here is Republican talking points. Hired more cops. Okay. No increase. No increase in our tax or cutting. That's increase. and stands with President Trump. So, again, 3 places you got to go here on his website. To the Republican nominee who has no primary. I want to be clear on this. No primary. His website, he's a Republican nominee, going to be, because there's no one competing against him. And he thought, he didn't think, he wasn't doing this. His people thought, his people thought, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put conservative at the top. Then the next thing, a picture of me and Trump. And the next thing stands with President Trump, because that's what New Yorkers want. New Yorkers. He doesn't know what state he's in. He doesn't know what state he's in. This is literally not what New Yorkers want. Bruce Blakeman stands with President Trump to fight and restore law and order. I thought he did that. Cut taxes, talk about that, and put New Yorkers first. He shares President Trump's commitment to strong border, safe communities, and a government that works for the people, not political insiders. Yet he's a political insider. Yeah, he's one. He thought this was a good idea, or his people did. Are we kidding? Are we kidding? Yeah. All right. Oh, here's in the news. Okay, he's in the news now. Okay, that's fine. Well, what's the next one? We did meet Blakeman's record. Now in the news. Okay, great. Now in the news. What's that? This is him in the news. Sole Jewish gubernatorial candidate calls out Mamdani's blatant anti-Semitism. So he talks about him being Jewish, so identity politics, and then says Mamdani bad. Because you know what works in New York City? Saying Mamdani bad. Oh, wait, he's the mayor. Damn. That doesn't work. What's the other one? Bruce Blakeman, Jewish Long Island politician, launches from New York governor. Jewish Republican Blakeman is a Jew. Okay, so in just the 2, Blakeman and news, both of them, Jewish. Not that I care if it's Jewish. I don't care if it's Jewish. Good, be Jewish. I don't care. I mean, let's be real. You know I don't care about that. Clearly, I don't care about that. The point is, he's doing literally what Republicans say Democrats do. Democrats are all about identity politics. Now, don't get me wrong. Hochul is. That's true. Hochul will always talk about, I'm a woman, first woman, I'm the mom, but always. She will use her gender like there's no tomorrow in almost every single event she does. True. And she's Democrat. They always do identity politics. Common. I thought Republicans didn't like identity politics. I thought they didn't like that. I thought they were against that kind of thing. That's what they told me. They told me identity politics is bad. And he's like, Jewish. I'm wondering. Oh, see, now I got to think for a second here. I'm going to make sure that I'm not wrong on this here. Maybe I have made an error somewhere. Maybe I have made an error. Because I'm going to go look right now, if I could. I'm going to be blatantly self-promotional, because I can, my show. This is my website. I got a volunteer, get info about Larry. Let me go to About Larry. See if we can find that spot. What's that say? Larry's a black guy who's black and he's so black. No. I didn't use that in politics. Did I do that? He's the blackest of the black. No, nothing. If you want to know that I'm black, I am, in case you can't see it, but it's true. But I don't talk about it because I didn't use that in any politics. If that matters to you, good. If you're got race issues and you don't like to vote because I'm black, fine. If you like me because I'm black, I'll take any vote I can get. I'm happy to take advantage of identity politics if it'll help me. I will take advantage of it. But I'm not going to use it. He did. Just who I am. Coach, New Yorker, Marine Corps veteran, father, right? Who I am. Teacher, political activist. What I've done is my business life, my career. That's me. And then I have a thing. Read Larry's plan for you. Oh, I didn't just say I have a plan. You can actually read it. How can you read it? Oh my God. Policies. Actual policies. Videos that explain policies. 8 hours of explaining policies. More individuals of policies. Constitutional amendments. Look at this. Here's how I'm going to do this. Here's how I'll do that. All here on my website. Weird. Different pages. All the things. Events, because I'm actually campaigning. Events that I go to. Donations. All the good stuff. A whole thing of policies. Media. All the things are here. Weird how his, let me go check his. Oh, wait, no, doesn't have any of that. But he's the serious candidate. He's a serious candidate. When my website has an error on it, and it sometimes does. We're humans. We make mistakes. We screw up. Sometimes we do. And when we do, what happens? People tell me, hey, Larry, I read your website. This is wrong or off or bad. Then what do? We fix it. That's what we do. Blakeman doesn't. Again, right here. Doubled up. And no one stopped anything. No one said a word. No one said a word. Now, of course, you can, jump in and say one of yard signs up, joining the fight, do that for him. And then Blakeman, put New York first, Blakeman for governor. That's the website. Then he's going to go to his X page. The guy who's going to be governor has 10,000 followers on his X page, 10,000 for New York State. He's going to win. That guy's going to win. 10,000. 10,000. Then his Facebook, I'm sure that's just packed. I mean, it's got packed millions. 41,000. Not bad. That's not bad. 41,000. I had 92,000. Yes. Larry, are you measuring? I'm measuring. Yes. Yes, I'm measuring. Correct. I'm measuring. Yes, I'm measuring. And I'm better looking. So just all those things. I put this up on purpose. I want you to see this. This is what the Republicans decided was number one here in New York. Literally a one-page website, one page, weak social media, and Trump, conservative, Trump, Jewish. I'm Jewish, I love Trump, and I'm conservative. That's what he did. That they thought that was the guy. They got rid of a Stefanik for this. He jumped on board. So you asked a very important question, Nicholas. You said, who's Blakeman? I just showed you. That's the guy they want to win. That's the guy who's supposed to make this work. That's embarrassing. Stefanik's page was bad. His is worse. They make up, but Larry's, it's new. He's been talking about this for months. He is the default, de facto Republican nominee for governor of New York. That's your website. You know what I mean? Spending money on advertising your Twitter. Why wouldn't they spend money on that? You might think we should spend money on our Twitter. Why would he? Why? He's 70. He's going to run this time. Not again. He's done. It's over. He's done. He's going to lose and move on. He doesn't care. It's a waste of money. He'd rather give it to a consultant to grift, which is what he's doing. So who is Blakeman? That's who Blakeman is. Kate says, not one true blue Democrat will vote for a Trump pick. True. Absolutely accurate. Yes. Absolutely accurate. Yes. So Kimberly says he's a Republican that challenged Stefanik to primary in governor. He did that. And as soon as that happened, Kim is correct. Stefanik said, I'm out. I'm out. Yes. Missy says, if you're a New York resident, your donation of $5 to $250 counts 6 times. $10 equals $60. Make every cent of your hard-earned money count. LarrySharpe.com/donate. She is correct, guys. Look, I know I'm giving you info and I'll keep giving it as I always do. I'll keep talking about these things as I always do. But remember, this is also a fundraiser. If you want to help me move forward, remember, I report coming up here in January. If you are considering, if you're in your mind like, I don't know, maybe I should give, I don't know if I should give, now is the time. I have to give my report out January, I think 4th or 5th, something like that. Beginning of January. I forgot what day it is, but it's beginning of January. I've got to give it out beginning of January. Now is the time to give. If you can give now. If you are a New York resident, give now. It does matter. Now you say, well, Larry, I'm not a New York resident. Still give, but you will not be able to get matching funds, but still give anyway, because I'll use that money to get New Yorkers to give to get matching funds, right? I will use that money to make it happen. Larry, but I want some cool merch. You can get it. You can. You absolutely can. You can head over if you want to LarrySharpe.com/shop. Over there, you can get shirts, hoodies, cups, bumper stickers, whatever you like. Go ahead, get them as a gift. Give your gift and get a gift. Also, all great. I've given all I can. Okay, then volunteer. CO Team Sharpe, we need people to be on that. Some of you are doing it. I'm watching you guys do this, and it's great. I do see you. A lot of you are on X, you're on Facebook, and you are, putting my name in other things, letting people know that I'm running. It is helpful. It is working. Please keep doing it. Don't stop. Please keep doing it. Many of you are doing it. Please keep doing it. It really does matter. Make that happen. And also, of course, the simplest of them all, click the like button. I ask all the time for one important reason. It matters. So please click that button. I appreciate it. All right. Let's keep going here. Andrea says, if they were listening to Larry, they wouldn't have been shocked. Yes, that is true. Absolutely. Okay. Because I was telling them this the whole time. I'll walk down some more of these if I can to grab some of these. All right. D says, Blakeman versus Sharpe, naming all counties in New York in alphabetical order. I have a feeling Sharpe would smoke Bruce. Yes, but alphabetical order would be tough. I could easily go by the map. I can go down the map much better than I could alphabetical. I could try alphabetical. It'd be challenging. I'd rather do it by region because since I travel there, I know it better that way. So, but yes. But would I beat him either way? I would definitely beat him. But I probably couldn't get him. I probably couldn't get him all right in alphabetical order. I'd probably get him all right, maybe west to east. I'd probably do that. That could probably do. So, yes. 6022 says, at least Sliwa had charisma. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Sliwa does have charisma. Absolutely true. So, Andrew goes on to say, Larry is the best choice for governor of New York. It's obvious, but yes. Yes. So, Kate says, mark Larry's words today. He can't win. Larry's a seer. Oh, I like that. I like that. Look, you don't have to have magic powers to know that in New York State, you can't have a website and a presence that yells conservative and Trump in New York State and win. Again, other parts of the country, you could easily. South Carolina, easy win. Easy win, South Carolina. Oklahoma, easy win. No worries. Those states are very conservative, and most people there like Trump, and most Republicans there like Trump. You'll be fine. Most Republicans here still like Trump. But there aren't enough of them. They've all moved to South Carolina, right? They've all moved. So there's no way it can happen. So absolutely. Okay. Grab some of these if I can. 22 says, Larry Sharpe is the Duke of New York, A number one. Oh, very good. For those of you who may not know where that comes from, nicely done, brother. Duke of New York, A number one, comes from the 80s cult classic, Escape from New York. Anybody remember who the Duke of New York was, A number one, who he was? The actor, I mean. The actor? It was Isaac Hayes. Yes, the famous guy, singer, and also the guy who played Chef in South Park. Yes, that actor was the Duke of New York, A number one. Yes, true. Thank you for that one. I appreciate that. All right. Joel says they should refer to him as Blankman. Go look for his platform or any policies, all blank. I am going to steal that, Joel. And I probably won't give you any credit, but I might. Depends on how I feel. I might. But I do like that. That's good. He's Blankman. There we go. All right. Wesley says, any admins, the donation page now says multiple times that only New York City residents. I hope that's, I hope my team is not messing this up. I'm going to look there. Now you get me worried. You've been bringing this up before a couple times. Let me see. I'm starting to get worried. That may be true. Hold on. I'm going to pop it up right now. Because now I'm getting worried. That's true. I hope you are wrong, Wesley. I'm not saying you're wrong. I hope you're wrong. All right. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna check this out right now. I'm pulling it up to make sure I didn't mess this up. Here is what I read here. What I'm reading here is the normal stuff you have to put, right? All that good stuff, right? Personal funds, yep. Not made by a corporation, yep. You're a resident, yep. You're not being reimbursed, yep. 250 is eligible, yes. And that is actually incorrect. You're right. It's New York State. Team, if you see this, thank you. Wesley, you literally proved my point. In real time. God, I love this chat. You proved my point in real time. Blakeman's website is wrong, and no one told us to change. People actually read my website because they're looking up my stuff, and you found out, yes, I'm eligible New York State resident. Team, please change that. It's not New York City resident. It's state resident. I know you're watching. Please ensure that gets changed immediately. That actually is supposed to be New York State resident. That is correct. Should be state, not city. Thank you for that, Wesley. Yes. I understand that mechanism may not be matched. Even that's true. It may not be matched. It's possible it won't be matched because that. So yes. And it should not be New York City. I don't know why we have city here. You are correct. Thank you so much for that, Wesley. It is state. The odds are the team saw, wanted to make sure they were doing everything legal because I'll get attacked for everything I do. So they probably did a cut and paste from the last person who did it, which of course was Mamdani, who ran in New York City. So team, please change this. It is not New York City. It is New York State. So thank you for that. You are correct, Wesley. Thank you for your assistance. I appreciate that. And we will change that coming up for ASAP. Don't worry about it. You can still go and do it. Doesn't matter. Please go. Go donate anyway. That doesn't affect your donation. It's just a reason they'll get mad at me and probably fine me because they fine me every time I run. So another fine. There we go. All right. Let's move on. All righty. Let's move down here. You guys are fighting each other? I think that works. All right. D says Blakeman's getting railed on X almost as much as Ed Gallerin. Oh, yes, the clown trying to primary Massey. Someone else that Trump endorsed. Yeah, the problem is, and I brought it up before, Trump doesn't have the same coattails as he did when he first started. When Trump's on, and Trump even said it, when he's on the ballot, right? When he's he has much more pull. When he's not on the ballot, not great pull. Similar to Obama. Obama was very good at getting himself elected. He wasn't good with others. He didn't have great coattails. Trump has mediocre coattails, but when he's on the ballot, it's different. So yeah, I think it's true. So he's getting hammered. Look, the reality of it is Republicans in New York State specifically are unhappy. They're unhappy. So he said it. I'm saying it. It's true. You can't keep giving them the same old stuff and say, now be happy. They're not gonna. They're just not gonna. And yelling Hochul bad isn't the answer. So they're getting mad. I agree. They're getting upset. I see it too. He gets roasted, but then so does Hochul, right? They get roasted too. So yeah, both of those two are true. So Paul says, stay by lots and lots of wind chimes throughout New York. Let us decorate the Tree of Liberty once and for all. We the people must rise and get it done, whatever means necessary. Not sure. I actually was there at that honor and obey the Constitution. I forgot where that is. I did an event there. I remember because I was there doing a Second Amendment event there years ago, 2018, 2019, maybe in that area. So yeah. All righty. Andrea says, Trump is so full of hubris, he's forgetting what MAGA is really about. Well, the issue is the Republican Party has kind of made MAGA whatever Trump is. And look, I'm going to be very forward. Trump getting out of the White House, again, whether you like Trump or not, right? It's a good move for him, right? Whether you like Trump or not, doesn't matter. I'm just saying what's the right move for him. Him getting out is a good move. Him sitting in his, DC White House around the swamp is not good for him. He comes up with bad ideas. He doesn't understand what the people want. He doesn't get connected. When he's out talking to people, that's when Trump's his best because he's meeting people, talking, getting it, understanding it, bringing it in his head. He can riff. He's much better when he's out and about. Whoever decided he's out, smart move. That's the best thing for him. Him sitting is a terrible idea. So yes. Rick Buss says, Larry Sharpe for the best timeline where we dodge the next dark ages. All right. I'm going to bring this piece up, Rick. You're right. What I mean by that. 2026 is going to be a very tough year. 2027 may also be a very tough year. What I mean by that is you're going to see AI, technology, the economy, inflation affect everything in this country, and most of it not in a good way. You'll see bankruptcies, lost jobs, a lot of bad stuff, lost housing, divorce, a lot of bad stuff going to be happening next year. It just is. I wish it wasn't. It is. We did not prepare for this at all. All the things I talked about in 2018 would have made this better. If that's about 2022, would have made this better. We're not going to be able to do it very well. It's not going to work. It's going to be a problem. What does that mean? We've got to get people to have some hope and see things happening and start making the changes immediately. And I mean 2026, 2027, 2028, real change and fast. And fast. We have to have a governor who's going to come in and go, not, well, we'll tweak this or tweak that or be New York first or whatever the hell that means, or worry about stuff that doesn't matter, like whether we're going to teach black kids to swim. That kind of stuff doesn't matter. Who cares? How are we going to make it to where people have energy and money and can pay their bills? Energy, money to pay their bills. That's what we need. And it has to be immediately. And when the government regulations stop it, because it's what it does, you see it constantly. When the federal government comes in to stop it, because it does constantly, we have to push back and fight back. Not just push back, win. And be prepared to fight a war over it. I don't mean a physical war, maybe. I don't mean a physical war. We have to. And if we're not, it's not going to work. So, all right. All righty. There we go. Yeah, Wesley, you're right. I saw the problem. I hope we'll fix it. I appreciate that. Yes, we will fix this piece if we can. All right. Let's see here. I'm gonna grab this one. You guys, a lot of stuff back and forth. I appreciate that. 6022 says his website's built for donations, mostly from Florida, I imagine. Now voter turnout. This is the piece. The reason why they're pushing it is just so they can push enough of the donations to feed the grifter class. That's the problem. That's the piece. Yes. It's crazy. So, all right, I'm gonna grab some of these. He goes on to say, George Santos will be a better R candidate. You're not wrong. At least he has charisma too. He does. You're right. Josh says, Merry Christmas, everyone. Yes, Christmas is coming up, guys. Merry Christmas. Absolutely. Yes. 99 says, do you think Blakeman drops out, Larry? I don't. No, I don't think he drops out. Once you have the Trump endorsement, I don't think you drop out. I think he raises all the money he can. The same thing everyone else does. Grabs a bunch of money, spends a chunk of it, and puts the rest maybe in his re-election campaign in Nassau. Can he do it? He can. So let's say he runs for governor of New York. Sake of argument, he raises $10 million, whatever the number is. Raise $10 million. He spends $6 million of it in a crappy campaign, losing by 20 points to Kathy Hochul, and then goes back to Nassau County with $5 million, $4 million, say, in his campaign coffers, shifts it over into his Nassau County for executive to ensure he wins the executive push next round. So yeah, does that. Easy day. Then if he retires after that, if he runs one more, he has that. If he doesn't, he takes that money, he puts it into a think tank or a PAC, and then he hires his children, his friends, his kids, whatever. He hires them and pays them all salaries. I'm not making it up. So yes. Jay Glable says, Bruce banned being able to wear masks after the fact is COVID is over. Banning clothing is not a liberty position. Well, he doesn't think he's a libertarian, so I guess that doesn't matter. He's a law and order guy. That's what he says, right? He's not a libertarian. He's not trying to be, he isn't one. He is absolutely a law and order guy. So he can ban whatever he wants. So you're not wrong, but he doesn't care. So there we go. Kate Jones says, Larry Sharpe versus Meet Blakeman in the political arena. Meet Blakeman, I like that. Bruce, but I'll take Meet. Yes, I love that. Okay. All righty. Let's see here. Daniel says, I think that J word puts a bad taste in people's mouth as of late. Maybe. I don't really know. Right? I don't know. I know Israel is really controversial right now. Is Jewish? I mean, maybe. Could be. But he doesn't care because he's going to be pro-Israel, pro-Jewish, or whatever he wants just to get money. So I don't know if he cares. I mean, maybe he cares. I don't know. But this is about a money grab. So yeah, that's it. And it goes on and says, no mention of race or religion on your page, Larry. Yes, none. If you watch my show, you know how I think. If you don't, you may not. But unless that really matters to you, in which case you can just ask me and I'll tell you. I'm not doing the identity politics. And you watch my show often, Andrew. You know, I will talk about race. I don't care. I'll talk about Jews. I'll talk about blacks. I don't care. I'll talk about whatever. I don't care. You see me do on my radio show when people come in and say, and they're blacks this and they're whites that. I don't care. And I have people who talk about the Jews all the time too. I don't have a problem talking about it. And the reason why I don't have a problem talking about it is because I don't talk about it from the point of they, whoever the they is bad. I never talk about it from that point of view. I talk about it from how people see things. Sure. Or what's affecting a group of people. Sure. But never this group is bad or this group is so. You never hear me say that stuff. That's not what I do. So yeah, I don't care. I'll talk about it all I want. But I don't use it as you have to vote for me because I'm black. If you feel that, I'll take any vote I can get. I will absolutely be a hypocrite and take whatever vote you want to give me, but I'm not going to push it. I'm not going to say you should. You shouldn't vote for me because of my race. You shouldn't vote for me because of my religion. But if you want to, I will happily take it. So, yes. All right. Adirondack says, Larry doesn't have a picture with Trump on his website. Truth is, I only met Trump one time. And he would not remember it because it was a bunch of people. And it was years. I was before he was president. He was still in The Apprentice. For those who don't know, his Trump building, the Trump Tower is in Manhattan. And it's not that far from my office. It's probably 3-4 blocks from my office. Maybe 3-4 blocks. So I would sometimes go to Trump Tower when he'd be coming in from The Apprentice. So I saw him in a line, like shook his hand and waved or whatever, like 20 years ago, whenever. He was still in The Apprentice when the time. He wasn't running president, none of that stuff. So he would remember me. Obviously, it was a line of people. That's the only time I ever met Trump. Otherwise, I've never met him. So I can't have a picture with him. I've never met the guy. So there we go. I did see him at the LP convention, but I didn't meet him there. I just saw him there. So, all right. Let's see here. Daniel says, maybe if I put a pic of Trump on his website, the R's will let him run under a line. So maybe I got to do one of them deep fakes, like me shaking Trump's hand or something. Or Trump going, yeah, you're smart. One of those guys? Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Not a bad idea. All right. 99 says, yeah, the guy with less followers than Larry is going to beat Hochul. Thank you. He has less followers than me, and he's going to beat Hochul. No policies, and all he's talking about is conservatism, Trump, conservatism, because that'll work in New York State. So Nathan says, say Jewish 3 times, and you'll summon Judal Jews. Not your best work. Not your best work. So yes. Shay says it's almost as if they know they can't win. That's cute. Yes. All right. JG Lavelle says Bruce Blakeman supports surveillance state. Yeah, I think. I mean, he says it. Law and order. If that means I got to do that, yeah. I'm not sure if you're saying it just because you're insulting him, or I felt like when you said it's as if he was being hypocritical. I agree with you. He's wrong, but he's not being hypocritical. He is a law and order guy. He says it right there. So yeah, surveillance state, sure. Hire more cops, yeah. Ban stuff, yeah. He's law and order. So that's kind of how it works, isn't it? That's how law and order guys work. So he's not being hypocritical. He's telling you who he is, which is why you probably shouldn't say that. So, yes. All right. Here. Let's see if I can go here. D says, give Larry a Christmas present this year. Donate what you can to his plan. Yes, for all of you who want to give me a Christmas present, I know so many of you just can't wait to give me Christmas presents. Not this year. Donate instead. Please donate. And here's what I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask a couple of things. If you can donate, please do so. If you have already donated or you can't do any more, no worries if you can't. I got it. If you can do as a Christmas gift to me. Take any of the things you like me talking about, whether it's this show, another show, whatever the case may be, and share it into another area. Put it, share it on X, share it on Facebook, share it someplace. Put it into something else. If you're savvy at clipping, clip something and put it on TikTok. Do something like that. I don't care what it is. Any of those things will help. It's a great gift for me. What I'm looking for, what I need more than anything else is legitimacy. I need legitimacy. If you guys can help, that's a great way of helping if you're not in a spot where you can donate, right? It would help tremendously. Yes. Nine says, what do you think about super chatting your name onto very large live podcast? Yes. Look, if you guys can do it, and it doesn't be large. It can be large or it can be very targeted, right? So a political podcast, a Republican podcast, Democratic podcast. The people who are religious, the people who are politically religious will absolutely go looking me up because that's what they care about. That's their thing, right? They're like, oh, there's a new candidate. They will look me up. Great. I hope so. But Larry, they might hate you. Good. I'm not mad. They can hate me. I don't mind at all. We can, Hating me but sharing me and calling me names? Yes. Yes. It's totally fine. 100%. All right. Go down here. See, LP MV says, when did Larry announce entry to the 2018 and 2022 campaigns? I announced early in 2018, similar to what I did this time. I announced July of 2017 for 2018, which was the right move and it helped tremendously. I waited far too long for 2022. 2022, I made a lot of mistakes. It was a bad campaign compared to 2018. 2018 was a much better campaign, even though it was a newer campaign. I was much more aggressive and forward. 2022, I made a whole lot of assumptions that were wrong. A lot. 2022 was a bad campaign. I thought that the Republicans actually wanted to win. If I gave them rules, they would figure it out. I did think all those things. I did. And I announced far too late. I didn't really announce till probably January. I really started to announce and run a real campaign. And it was a bad idea. I ran early this time because I learned my lesson. I make mistakes. It does happen. But I learned my lessons. So lessons have been learned. Yes. So thank you for that. That's what happened. All right. Let's go down here. And it says, I did it and got people's attention. Yes. So please keep doing it. Yes. Got it. So Tim says, Sliwa for lieutenant governor. Would you consider it? Would he? I don't think Sliwa would be my lieutenant governor. He's been the number one guy. Is he going to become like second banana? I don't think so. Plus, he's pretty much burned right now. Like, they burned him out. I mean, I know him. They burned him out. I mean, I don't think he would do it. What I consider it, maybe the only problem with that is two downstaters. And generally speaking, New Yorkers prefer at least one upstate person on a ticket, either top or bottom. They tend to want at least one upstater, generally speaking. So it's not a no. I would consider it, but I don't know he would do it anyway. But look, Sliwa people, if you're listening, you want to talk about it, I'm happy to talk about it. I'm happy to have a conversation. Absolutely. Yes. So D says, I just messaged the ITI campaign. Thank you, D. Thank you. Every bit counts. Absolutely. Yes. All right. Let's see here. Where are we there? Oh, Mike Voss made it. Mike Voss in the house. Glad you came, brother. Glad you're here. So, all righty. Brendan says, what's your pause on illegals? Yes, this is the problem with the migrants that have come to New York State. And this, my plan makes almost no one happy, but satisfies some, to be very clear. The Democrats go, shut up, stop talking, Brendan, be quiet. That's the Democrat answer. And then create some form of migrant industrial complex to pay nonprofits hundreds of thousands of dollars to not solve the problem. That's Democrats. Republicans go, get rid of them all with zero plan how to get rid of them, cannot get rid of them, will never work, does not work at all. Now, what do I want? I want to get rid of the bad ones and give the good ones some way of not getting hammered through ICE. I would like ICE to work with the NYPD. Most of the time when ICE works without the local police force, there's problems. Why? Local police force knows where to go, what to do, where the bad guys are out, their local police force. You see, there was some success in Memphis because of that, because the Memphis police force said, let's work together. The way federal should work, Brandon, is you don't have the feds lead anything. The feds support local. Local says, we got a problem here. We need more manpower or more firepower if it's a bad thing, or more intelligence or more equipment or whatever is the thing. You allow local forum to say, hey, here's what we're lacking. We need more of. Can you give us more of? And the feds go, yeah, we got you. You need bodies. You need technology. You need firepower. You need intelligence. We got you. Here we go. That's when it works best. We don't always do that. So when we want to get rid of migrants, it has to be that way. I don't want to hammer all the migrants. And there's reasons why. We can't. And let me explain why before you get mad at me, because I get this all the time. I get a bunch of people like, you got to get rid of them all. They're illegal, whatever. You can't for a couple of reasons. Number one, we don't have the physical resource to do so, even with ICE. We're seeing it. Trump isn't even deporting as many people as Obama is, and he's trying. We are begging people to join ICE. We don't have enough physical bodies. We are buying, I'm not joking, we are buying planes from Spirit Airlines because we don't have enough planes. We physically cannot get rid of them. It is physically impossible. Now, too many people who hate migrants just will not hear that and go, Larry, you're this, whatever. Fine, don't vote for me. If that's your number one issue, you don't vote for me. You want magic. If that's you, I don't know if that's you, Brandon, but if that's you, you want magic, keep begging for magic. Never going to happen. It's physically impossible to get rid of all of them. So that's number one. So I'm going to focus on the bad guys because that we can do. That is realistic and we should do it and we can do it. So focus on the bad guys because we can. Number two, big business wants them here. And boy, people don't like hearing that, but they do. The reason why this happened is because big business convinced Biden to let them in. People go, oh, Democrats. It's not Democrats. It's Biden. Obama didn't do this. Clinton didn't do this. Bush didn't do this. Trump didn't do this. No president, Republican or Democrat, did this crazy shit that Biden did, except Biden. He's the only one who did this. No one else did it. That's why it was so crazy. No one else did this. Only Biden did, right? Obama was the deporter in chief. He wanted to close the border. So did Clinton, right? So did Bush, right? This is not a Democrat Republican thing. Oh, sorry, wasn't. This was a Biden thing. This is why Democrats didn't mind in the past being sanctuary cities. Why did they not mind? Because you didn't have a Biden letting in every freaking migrant in the world in. That wasn't a thing. So you could easily be in we can be a sanctuary city. We could virtual signal all day. Of course you could. Because you had every president trying to control the border. So it's very easy to virtual signal. But Biden went, border? What's that? I don't know what that is. That's what he did. And boom, this is because of Biden. So now we got to how do we fix that? We've got to find a way to focus our resources by having ICE work with local police forces to get the bad guys. That's my policy on illegals. I hope that makes sense at least for you. I know you don't like it. Most people don't like them. It makes some people happy, makes most people unhappy. But I'm being realistic. Unless you would just yell, get rid of them all and shake my fist, which is what Blakeman's going to say. And he can never do and will never do. It is physically impossible. Anyway, so there we go. All right. D says, Mike, okay, hold on. This is Mike. Okay. Mike says, I know I missed a lot, but Blakeman's I-9's not ready. Oh, he's not ready. He's not ready. Being a big fish on Long Island, not the same as New York State. Real solution needed. Thus, I spoke to you, Larry. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Yes. Look, he is relatively popular on Long Island. Not crazy about, but relatively popular. It's true. He is. But that to your point, doesn't mean you're going to win. Doesn't mean you're going to win. And Deagle's going to say, Mike, Long Island MAGA says Blakeman's going to win, that he's known on Long Island. That's true. They're right. And Mike's point's right. It is true. On Long Island, people do know who he is. And he's pretty popular in Nassau County. He's pretty popular, but not like people love him. He's popular. People know who he is. They're okay with him. So, yeah, that's not enough to win. So he'll probably win the county of Nassau. That's not enough. So, yes. Chris says, I was a bit upset with the lease dropping out. However, I'm a bit more upset that Blakeman doesn't have a plan together. He asked me to remind people how bad Hochul is, but you need a plan. Yes, I say it constantly. This is why you're finding Republicans starting to get pissed off. Because they're like, okay, I got it. Democrats are bad. Understood. You can stop saying it. Like, I got it. Stop saying it. What are you going to do? Well, Democrats bad. There's nothing to do. That's it. So, yes. All righty. Excuse me. Kimberly says, Lara's painted a picture for our future. The elites are a dozen steps ahead of the changes we want. Yeah, yes, you're right, Kim. Thank you for bringing that up. I'm the only one talking about what's going to happen next year. And it's heavily going to be tech-based. It's heavily tech-based. And if we're not ready for it, we're in trouble. I'm the one talking about getting ownership of the energy that's going to affect the tech. I'm the one talking about using the co-op model to gain control of not just energy, but also healthcare. You have to align incentives. I'm not even talking about this since 2018. I've been talking about the ownership mindset. We saw this happen during the lockdowns. People started to become more entrepreneurial, and it was better for many people. Not everybody, for many people. Some people don't want to have their own, they don't want to go out and run their own business. I get it. I'm not saying you have to run your own business, but then have ownership in your local co-op. Have ownership in your local energy, nuclear power plant, coal power plant, solar power, I don't care, whatever. Solar farm, whatever, power plant, whatever. Hydro power plant, there we go. Whatever. Have ownership in your local healthcare system. I was just talking to somebody who gave me this idea that I was really thinking about here, which is we're talking about UBI, right? Universal Basic Income. Income's nice. I hope we all have good incomes. Not mad at incomes. Enjoy. But the wealthiest people in the world don't have great incomes. They have lots of assets. Lots of assets. Now, that does create income, but they don't focus on the income. They focus on the asset. The asset is what gives them income. Most Americans don't do that. But imagine if we were focused on assets. And instead of trying to create some kind of UBI, instead of that, see, I'm being good. Mike hates UBI. I'm not talking about getting UBI. Creating environments where local people create co-ops of ownership in assets. And that natural income comes from the assets they own. But not just that. People start thinking about assets. The average person in America does not think about assets. The only asset they think about is owning a home. That's the only one. They can't imagine anything else. Own a home, that's it. That's what they think about. The rest is get a good job with a good salary or get a good income. Americans got to start thinking about an ownership mindset, owning assets that create value for them. That's not easy, but I think you have to. It's the only way of doing it. You've got to take the time to make that happen. And I'm the one talking about it. That's how we get around the chaos of 2026, 2027. What Milei did well in Argentina is he communicated well. He said, this first year is going to suck, but it's going to get better. And here's how. It's the same thing. I'm doing it here. I'm telling you, we can get people to have ownership in the energy that's required to work on the blockchain, which is going to be the future, right? The world is going to go blockchain tokenization for ownership. What I mean by that, do you own a car? I have the deed. There's going to be a token. It's going to be blockchain. Everyone knows you own that car. There's no doubt. It makes theft a whole lot harder when the deed to your house, your car, your bus, your whatever you own is on a blockchain. A whole lot harder. A whole lot harder, right? So that's going to start happening. It's already happening now for things like your stocks, right? It's going to start happening already. Well, you might go, well, Larry, I don't care about the blockchain. But you might care if the energy that's sucking up is putting money in your pocket. That energy plant is your asset that you control because you live there. You can do it. It can be done. I think it should be. Wesley says, I feel that Blakeman winning an election and then immediately running off a different position instead of filling the old one is bad, unless he was forward with his constituents that he would do that. I agree with you. I think it's BS. So he wins the election and goes off. Let's go back to my point. He's supposed to be running the county. What's he doing? Running for office. Yes, absolutely. So yeah. All right. Roy says, Dems ran a bad Trump campaign. They won, right? Oh, wait, never mind. Thank you, Roy. Thank you. Orange Man bad doesn't work. Hochul bad doesn't work. Right? None of these things work. They don't work. You are correct. James says, how to make a lot of money running for office? A couple ways. One way is you get a PAC to get behind you. Some kind of PAC, right? So you run for office, you get a PAC. You get your PAC going up, and it gets a bunch of money. Then what do? You write a book, James. You write a book on the joys of farming in Western New York. And that book costs you, I don't know, $2 to make, whatever it is. Your publisher gets whatever, $4. You sell for $10, and you get $4. And then your PAC buys $1 million of your books. And then gives them out. You become a best-selling author and make a bunch of money. Totally legal. That's option one. And you see people do that. At least you write a book. Huh. Weird. Yep, number one. Number two, you run, got a bunch of money, whatever that money is, you raise whatever, $5 million. You spend $2 million of it, lose your election, and you have $3 million left in your account. What do you do with that account? You say, hey, Larry, I need you to start a think tank. I go, what, James, on what? I don't know, on farming in Western New York. Oh, okay. I'm a think tank on best ways to farm in New York. I don't have any money. Don't worry, I'm going to give you my $3 million. Oh, okay. So give me $3 million. And with that, we're going to pay each other because you're going to be my consultant and I'm going to be the executive director. And each of us gets paid $250,000 for the next 6 years till money runs out. So you just made half of that back over the course of whatever, was that 6 years, whatever number will be. So do I, because I'm your buddy. So we both make the money. That's number two. Number three, you run for office. And when you're running for office, you spend your time talking to other people who are on committees in either boards or say locally or committees at the federal level. And they know stuff's happening because they're dealing with it now. They know that they're going to work on this law, this bill, this regulation, this rule. You go, oh, that will affect this industry. Then you buy stock or short stock in that industry because you know something's happening. Called insider trading. And it happens legally, sadly, in that. So there's lots of ways. I gave you a bunch of ways to do it. See how it is? That's, I hope that helps you out too. So if you want to go make some money, those are ways. Hope that's helpful. There we go. Shelley says, if Blakeman believes that he's going to be governor, who's running for his current position? Oh, right. No one. That's the bait and switch that Wesley was talking about. Literally. What if he actually wins? What if he actually wins? What happens? Oh, that guy you voted for? Yeah, just kidding. You get this other guy. Yeah, that's how that works. Kay says, I guess Trump will assign someone. Correct. That will happen. 100%. Grace says, any chance Blakeman would debate you? If I get to run in the Republican primary, which I do want to consider running in the Republican primary. I go, Larry, how can you do that? In New York State, we have what's called fusion voting, which means I can run on multiple lines at the same time. And there's a document called a Wilson-Pakula. The document's called. If you get that document allows me to be Bernie Sanders. What I mean by that? For those of you who don't know, Bernie Sanders is actually not a Democrat. He's a socialist independent. But he runs in the Democratic primary because they allow him to. The rules say if the party allows you to, you may run in that primary, even though you're not part of the party. And they give that to him. In New York State, that rule, piece of paper you need, is called a Wilson-Pakula. I don't know why it's called that, but that's what it's called. If Republicans give me that, I get to run. So I become the Republican Bernie Sanders. So it could happen. I'm hoping it will. We'll see. So that will be amazing. So there we go. All righty. Grab some more of these. Where am I? All right. Gracie says, Trump may be after you like he is massive. Keep his momentum up. We can only hope. We can only hope. I need the attention. Yes. So he says, I think we should spam Larry's name everywhere, including Trump's social media. Yes. She is correct. Yes. Absolutely. It's correct. All right. Let's see here. Got that. Shelley also goes on to say, according to Google search, Hochul and Blakeman are the only candidates. That needs to be corrected. Of course. The guy just said it too. He goes, well, Delgado is in her primary, but everyone knows he can't win. Everything. Yes. Chris says, everything I've seen Blakeman say about Hochul is a lie. He's pushing the same conspiracy theories about illegals getting benefits other I guess even Republicans are. Yeah, look, whether you like Blakeman or not, whatever your background is, look at what I just showed you in his website. He is just playing the standard Republican talking points. Nothing new, no ideas, no nothing. Hochul bad, whatever she says, same thing. Yes, same thing. No difference. So, all righty. Christy says, if you won the gubernatorial election, would you reach out to other governors such as Ron DeSantis for advice? Maybe. I mean, if I thought I'd need help, I'd talk to any governor if I thought I need some help. Of course I would. Not against it. I have a team around me. I ask for advice constantly. So yeah, of course. Look, I know you're going, Larry, but you're so super smart. You must know everything. I don't. I know, shocker for some of you. I do not know everything. It's true. I know it's true. I don't know everything. So I actually ask people for advice. I do. Yes. Kate says, Larry needs to Rogan him up. Guys, get on Rogan. Spam Rogan. Shelley says it. Spam him. Let's do it. I'm in. 100%. Yes. 100%. Let's go keep doing it. So, all righty. Cities 22 says 50 Cent for governor. Is he a New Yorker now? He was. Is he now? I don't know if he is anymore. Maybe. I don't know. Jennifer says Shannon Joy for lieutenant governor. It would her being anti-Trump turn off too many conservatives. Now, to be clear, I love Shannon Joy. She's amazing. I adore her. I cannot imagine her being lieutenant governor. She's got so much other stuff going on, but she's an upstater. You know some I don't know, Jennifer? Maybe should I be reaching out? I love her. She's great. And she's a hardcore New Yorker. And she's hardcore. She knows how to speak in front of people. I mean, maybe. I'm thinking. You're making me think now. Maybe I should. So now I'm thinking. All right. I got a super chat here. Did you see Viva X's comments from Andrea asking Elise if she was going to endorse you? Yes. I did see that. That was interesting. I wish she would, but she won't. Right? She's going to follow whatever Trump says. But the good part about that is, this is the point. A whole bunch of people saw who I was. A whole bunch of people said, what? Who's this Larry Sharpe guy? Yes. I think that's great. So, yes. I think that'd be amazing. So let's do that. All right. Okay, go down here if I can. Tara Wombat says, Blakeman meme on Larry's Discord. Join the Discord. You could join in the Discord. You can. Please join if you want to. Easy day to join the Discord. You go to liveship.com, look at social media. It's a list of all of them right there. We have a bunch of them. So please jump on if you want to. So yes. All right. Jason says, I could really use a clip on your state tax and police. All right, let me see if I can grab some more of these then. I haven't done as many of these as I could have. I should do that. I should talk about that. Yeah. Chris says, how will Larry help the working poor? Everyone talks about middle class and the rich, but the working poor are being raked over the coals more than anyone. Yeah, agreed. I talk about the working poor and the middle class both. What I often don't talk about is the very wealthy and the very poor. Why not those two? I don't bring up the very wealthy because they don't need me. They're good. And the very poor, because the people who have to take care of the very poor are the people in the middle class and the working poor. And they give them the best chances, entrepreneur class, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's many ways. I mean, I could keep going, obviously. But one of the ways you want to deal with the work, let's I'm talking about all the working poor, is, again, ownership mindset. How do we do that? A couple of things. I'll look at housing, energy, maybe schooling. How about that? I'll try to grip those three, Chris. Again, there's many. There's no one answer. There's many answers to help out. Let me start with the housing piece. When most of the working poor are renters, right? Not all, but the majority of working poor are renters, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I'd like to make it to where most renters have the option of becoming owners. What does that mean? Incentivizing rent to own. You start that, by the way, in NYCHA, New York City Housing Authority. New York City Housing Authority is the state's largest slumlord. I wish I was joking. So we want to start to move that towards rent to own. Now, some of the people in NYCHA and other places, we're actually paying their rent through vouchers, or whatever the case may be. People get mad and go, Larry, do we really want to be paying their rent and their rent to own? Well, we have two choices: pay it till they own it, or pay forever. We'll actually save money by doing rent to own. So more people have the option of rent to own. Now, how do we do that? We allow NYCHA to sell off all its properties that way. We even would allow, in theory, a management company to buy it, to repair it, to make it more valuable, so they could sell it off themselves also if they wanted to. Now, how do we make them do rent to own? Most of them don't want rent to own. They either want to just rent it or sell it, right? Generally speaking, that's what they want to do. Rent creates income, right? Assets creates income, right? They want that, or sell it and get a big cut, right? Big chunk, and jack up the price best they can to make as much as they can. But if we give them a tax break, if they make it rent to own, it gives them incentive to actually rent to own. They'll make more money on rent to own than they would on just selling it because of the tax break. You might go, Larry, now I'm not going to pay these big corporations taxes and blah, 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 blah. I hear it all the time. Here's the reality. They scam anyway, number one. But if I have to give up their tax they're giving, but it's giving the regular working poor person a home that they own and able they want to be in, take it. Take it. I'm okay with that. The more people who are working poor, who have the opportunity to own a home, the better. You're helping me out. But that would actually incentivize them to build more. Build another one. And if you make it rent to own, same deal. When you sold off, no tax. So just take it. Take the money and run. Yes, Now it's like got more and more people who are doing rent to own, rent to own, rent to own. That's what I want. So they can still get some cash with rent to own. It's a much better way of doing it. It's harder, but it's a much better way of doing it. So that's a critical aspect. I'll move to energy. As I mentioned about energy. Energy right now is expensive for most people who are working poor, particularly upstate. They're getting hammered. Again, what if we had, there's about 13 or 14, I think it's 13 in that area, around a dozen. Around a dozen spots right now in New York State. There are former either coal or different types of power plants. You should have a nuclear power plant right there. If local people want it, we build it, can knock it out in 2 years. Once it's knocked out, 50% owned by local residents. You live there, you have voting rights, and you get a cut. So now you have an asset. I just gave the working poor an asset. But Larry, there'll be a rich guy there too. Yes, but it's the same voting rights as the poor guy. You don't get extra because you have more money. You have one vote, one share, whatever that amount is, because that's what you have. That's it. No more. That's what you get. So you do that, all of a sudden, more energy, more everything, things are rocking and rolling. Not just that, licensing. Most people, if they're working poor, want to have some kind of side hustle to make things work. A lot, we should raise the minimum wage. Raising minimum wage does not actually help most people. Why? Because they're going to automate anyway with AI. AI is going to automate. There's going to be less and less jobs. So if you raise the minimum wage, will those people working have higher wages? Yes, that's true. If you're one of the lucky ones who's not replaced by AI, you will have higher wages. Good for you. I'm not mad at you for it. Nice. But I know about the other people who are also getting booted out, who aren't getting that good job. How do I do that? Licensing, allowing people to start businesses on their own, particularly AI businesses. It can be done. I gave you 3 things. There's a whole lot more, obviously. We could actually do we could actually also come up with healthcare that's actually owned by individuals. That also could do that. If we have a situation to where hospitals and things like that are actually owned by local people, all the incentives come together. So that too. Anyway, so I hope it could be a bunch of them. I could keep going forever if you want to. So there we go. All righty. Shelley says, I checked everywhere. I couldn't find Larry listed as running for governor. Of course not. Why would they? Why would they? Yes. They don't want me on. Why would they do that? Of course not. Yep. All righty. Grab some more of these. Hold on. Why are you guys all saying I'm not there? You're right. I'm not there. Yep. Okay. Phil says Blakeman's trying to cover his assets. True. Adon says, lol, I got a hater comment on Facebook. Thank you. I appreciate that. I love that. C22 says, own assets like gold, silver, and brass. That too, I think is all a good idea, right? I want people to have more ownership in general. So yes, more ownership in general. Yes. He's going to say, wait, publishing is corrupt and no one reads those airport books? Yeah. And no. That's a way of doing it. So yes. Mike says, you mean like Pelosi buying $250,000 in Win stock for pushing advantage of this? Exactly like that, Mike. Yes. She, as you know, I mean, Mike knows this. I'm preaching to you guys, right? She literally is the poster child for insider trading. Yes. 100%. D says, I like Larry's impromptu live stream when he's at a fundraiser that night. Breaking news with Stefanik and Larry responded. It was nice. I like that. Yes. Adirondack's correct. Yes. Lots of people, Mike, make 16,900% return on investments. Okay. So stop messing with her. So yes. Take that. All right. Mike says your team isn't just libertarians. True. Absolutely true. My team is, I would probably say a good chunk of libertarian. But no, we have Republicans, we have Maha people, we have Democrats. We actually have someone on our team who was on the Donnie campaign. So yes, true. That's my point. I want people to tell me other things. Absolutely, yes. So Chris says, see if you can get an interview with Paul Vandenberg on Talk 300 in Albany. If you could help, that will be awesome. If you could help, that will be awesome. Yes. All right, let me see if I can grab another super chat. This is from Phil. See if I can grab this one if I can. New York State's raising the minimum wage at the beginning of this year, coming up. $16 an hour, upstate, and $17 downstate. What do you think the impact will be on New Yorkers? We won't even notice. We won't notice. The amount of change that's going to happen in New York State it will be unnoticeable. Yeah. You're going to remember, most people don't get minimum wage. They hire. It's something like less than 10% of workers are minimum wage workers. Most people are not minimum wage workers. So it will only affect that 10% or less, and hardly at all, because entry-level jobs are going away. So yeah, I get what you're talking about. It is just, it's challenging. I don't think there'll be much of a change at all, to be forward with you. So thank you for that. What it says, you're considering running for the Republican line too? Whoa, mind blown. Yeah, why not? I actually consider running Democrat too. I consider both. I'm an independent. I can run either one, right? In theory, I can run either one of them. The idea would be a Wilson Bakula can be used for any party to any other party. So say I'm a libertarian and I want a Republican run in my primary if I was a party. I mean, we're not a party, but we need a Wilson Bakula for that to happen too. So that's how it works here. So I could, in theory, I could run in the Democratic primary also. I could. And actually, there's no rule against running in both at the same time. I don't know how it would do it. I'd have to get a Wilson Bakula from both of them. I can't imagine any scenario in that happening. I don't know how. But theoretically, I could run in both the Republican and Democratic primary at the same time. In theory. In practice, I don't know how that works. In other words, there's no law against it. But I don't know. Could I run a Democratic primary? To do it, you have to get, not mistaken, half of the state chairs to say yes, of the county chairs to say yes, or more to say yes. That's how you would, and that doesn't endorse you, it just allows you to be on the ballot so that you can be in the primary. That's how that works. And if that happens, you'd have to go get signatures to get on after that too. So you do both of those if you want to do it. It can be done. But I'm considering whatever it will take to move this to the next level. And you can see it's challenging for me. I keep pushing forward and it keeps getting more and more challenging. So yeah, I would consider it Democrat or Republican line. Republican line is probably more obvious because why would the incumbent party ever let me in? Right? I don't know why they would do that. It seems crazy. So I can't see Democrats ever letting me in. But yeah, I like that. See them all. So, all righty. I got there. Cover that. Guys, if you want to give me a super chat, you can, as you saw. Superchat.com, LarrySharpe.com/superchat. Please do that if you would. I appreciate that if you can. D says, let's get Larry trending on X. Wonderful idea, D. I agree. Yes. All righty. Phil says, make apartments condos again. Yes. Maca. Make apartments condos again. Absolutely good. Yes. I love that idea. Let's move forward. Let's move forward. All righty. Anorak says, hamstring the evil landlords does help apartment costs. Yeah. What winds up happening, Bill's don't know that. When you just attack landlords, only big landlords win because they have enough resources and thugs to deal with the issues that the little guys don't. You just crush small landlords. So that's how it actually works. So yes. Shelley says, all public housing should be rent to own with ownership happening fairly quickly. People don't destroy property they own. 100% true. That's demonstrably true. That's yes. That's correct. That's correct. Yes. 100%. JG LaBelle says, before anything, you need signatures to get on the ballot. I do. That will be challenging. Work on it. And number one thing is raising money. Money solves that problem. The plan is money. That solves the problem. There's no other way of solving that problem. It used to be when there was only 15,000 signatures, you could do it with bodies. Money solves that problem. So my answer, JG, is more money. And if you can help by either donating or sharing it some places where people can donate, please do so. It does matter. Money is the answer. That's how we fix it. So yes. Jennifer says, Cash Jordan, YouTuber, I know him, lives, I know of him. Sorry, I don't know him, I know of him. Lives in New York City. You should see about getting in one of his videos. He does a lot of housing stuff. He does, but he doesn't usually do guests. It's not his thing. It's really about him. But if you know somebody, let me know. But no, he really is that. So yes. All righty. The beauty says, Larry needs a huge push. Yes, guys, please push. I appreciate it. Please push. He says, Larry's the RFK of New York, lol. You're not wrong. Yes. You're not wrong. So I am on many channels. That's true. This is one channel of many channels. Basically, list of platforms. I am on I'm on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, usually on Rumble. Tonight I'm not. Rumble UI just crashed on me, so I couldn't get a Rumble tonight, but usually on Rumble too. So yeah, I'm on a bunch. Getter, I'm on a bunch. So absolutely. I try to keep going. Yep. All righty. Let's see here. Roy says you can find evidence of Larry running if you're in Plattsburgh. All is afraid. Oh, there we go. There we go. So I'm there. If you look, you'll find I am covered here or there. It's true. So, alrighty. Mike says national average is 1.3% of workers get minimum wage per year. Most of the team's first jobs and retirees. Yeah, that's the point. I knew it was under 10%. Yeah, New York State. I think New York State is a little bit higher. I think it's like 4%. If I remember last time I checked, New York State is a little bit higher because New York State has a terrible wealth gap. We have the worst wealth gap in the country. So I think we're a little higher, but it isn't by much. I knew it was under 10%, but it's not by much. Absolutely. So yeah. All right. C22 says, see if Cuomo can help you with the Wilson Makula. I should ask. Phil says, Larry's going to have the infinity stones of political parties. He is. Inevitable. Yes, it is true. I am. Inevitable. That is true. Yes. 620 says, more money, less problems. True. Absolutely true. That does matter. And K. John says, money changes everything. It does. It does. Absolutely. And Cindy Lauper was correct. It does. 100%. Chris says, I know we need to dump the Unsafe Act and the Sullivan Improvement Act, but would you also lean towards New York getting towards constitutional carry? Yes. Here's the issue, Chris. There are several issues here we have to work on. Number one, most people in New York State are not pro-gun. It's just true. Most are not. Most New Yorkers actually still want more gun control. I know it sounds crazy, but the data is in most New Yorkers do. So the idea of walking right to, and you got it, lean towards getting versus we're not going to be able to walk right into constitutional carry. It's not going to be a thing. Now, can I make it happen by default so that we can fix things? Yes, because it's the second piece. Even though New York State is blatantly going against the Constitution when it comes to Second Amendment, it is blatantly made the Second Amendment the second suggestion. It is blatantly going against the Supreme Court. All these are true. There's currently no movement in New York State to make anything better when it comes to gun rights. There isn't. How do we fix it? As governor, I immediately say all possession charges, all possession crimes are pardoned blanket immediately. Pardoned. Just apply and they're pardoned. I will create the office of the pardon. Set it up there as pardoned. Wait a minute. All? Yes, all. And I base it on the Second Amendment. Larry, you can do that. Yes, I can. I'm basing it on the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment says shall not infringe. Therefore, if you rob somebody, that's still a crime, right? If you pistol whip somebody, shoot somebody, whatever, still a crime. But having the possession charge is only pardoned. What will that do? Larry, they would never keep that. You're right. I'm not fooling myself. There would be crazy backlash. But that is what will reopen the SAFE Act, because SAFE Act is heavily possession. Heavily possession. So now we can relook at the SAFE Act, right? That's the piece we'll relook at. That's how you make it work. So Ken says, if I hit the Powerball tonight, I'll send you a max donation. I hope you do. Absolutely. Excuse me. All righty. Guys, I would like you to do me a favor. Click the button known as like. Lima, India, Kilo, Echo. Please do so. If you haven't reshared this or reposted this, please do so. If you have not subscribed to this channel, the page you're watching, please do that if you would. It is important you do so. If you can donate, time to donate is now. Now is the time. If you can, now's time. I report in January. I need people to jump on board so I can have a good report. Please jump on board if you can. If you want something for it, no worries. LarrySharpe.com/shop. Get a shirt, a hoodie, a cup, bumper sticker, whatever you like. If not, just donate. Great. Whatever you need, please do so. It really does matter. And after this show, do me a favor. After this live is over, come back and comment. I want you to comment. Very simple. Very simple. Please comment on what do you think of Bruce Blakeman running? It's your opinion. Good, bad, doesn't matter, whatever. Just comment. You know who loves that? Mr. Rhythm. Algo Rhythm does matter. Please do so if you can. I would appreciate it. And Phil's sending prayers. Larry, feel better. You hear my voice? I know. I'm on my way out, guys. You guys can hear it too. I will be on again though tomorrow. I will be on tomorrow. I'll be on the Rational Egoist tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern, and I'll be on my show, my regular show tomorrow. Sharpe show 7 p.m. tomorrow. I'll go rest my voice. I will see you all